This episode may contain content that could be distressing or objectionable to certain listeners. Please refer to the episode show notes for details. Discretion is advised. Hello, listeners! Welcome to Your Movie, My Movie with Dan and Steve.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve. Also with us today is writer and not-so-silent partner of the podcast, Sierra.
I'm Sierra.
This is a podcast where one of us picks a movie to watch and we discuss it together. In this episode, we're talking about one of my picks, the 2001 movie Dagon, starring Ezra Godden, Francisco Rabal, and Raquel Moronio. Hold on. I can't read my own typing. And Raquel Moronio was written by Dennis Paoli and was directed by Stuart Gordon. We will be talking about spoilers, so if you want to watch the movie first, now's the time to do so. But before we talk about the movie, Dan, who would you recommend this movie to?
Funny you should ask, Steve. I happened to write down my ideas on this earlier, just for this moment. I would recommend this movie to people who have a thing for mermaids and tentacles, mermaids with tentacles, and people who believe in arranged marriages.
Okay. That's very fair.
Yes, because I don't think you should do arranged marriages.
Okay. Well, especially not the ones that were tried to be arranged in this movie.
Correct.
Sierra, who would you recommend this movie for?
Trying to be nice. I said people who enjoy B movies. People who appreciate good special effects makeup and like monster making. And what else did I say?
Now, what if you were trying to be mean?
Oh, not yet.
Oh my.
And then I said those who watch movies with their partners who their partner always guesses the ending immediately with like 90% accuracy.
You think they would get it right then?
90% accuracy, I said.
Okay, so you think that they would be accurate in this guess or no?
Like they would be very accurate in this guess, like how the ending would be. They wouldn't have guessed like a good bit of something else that happens in the film.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if I were being mean, I would say I would recommend this movie for people who are bored enough to watch something, but aren't committed to finishing it, especially in the last 48 minutes of the movie until a week later, when you've forgotten most of the beginning.
Okay. Is that somewhat autobiographical, Sarah?
It's inspired.
Okay.
Inspired by true events.
Okay, that's
So
fair.
Steve,
That's fair. Yes, Daniel.
Who would you recommend this movie for?
I would recommend this movie for those who want to watch an old school style of cinema that makes Gen Z mildly uncomfortable to watch, but with good reason.
Crickets. I'm confused, but okay.
Well, from what I understand, Gen Z, they're comfortable. They tend to be uncomfortable watching movies that depict nudity.
Really?
Yeah. You guys haven't seen those articles online about it?
Not at all.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I've never heard of this concept.
Interesting.
But that's why there's not a lot of nudity in films nowadays like there were, before the millennium. And my theory is that it all has to do with online porn. It's like, movies put nudity in their movies to, kind of be titillating. But, in this new century, there's no reason for movies to be titillating when, online porn is just so prevalent. So why put it in there?
Interesting.
Does any of this make sense?
To say.
Uh-huh.
Not really. I'm thinking about this and I'm like, I never really noticed the
decline of booby shots.
Yeah, I haven't noticed it, but I guess like it would be weird for like a titty to pop out in like the 5th Marvel movie of the month. So like I don't know. I kind of just thought whatever was being like, tossed out into the theaters was just like, franchise goop, and they're like, well, we can't put a titty in that. That's a little weird.
Well, I think Marvel movies are a little different because they're geared towards families.
Well, of course, yeah, but I thought it's because mostly we've been getting a lot of family movies lately.
Yeah. And like even for old school movies, titties pop out, for the low budget stuff. But nowadays, like the low budget stuff is just, asylum movies and like, Redbox movies or Tubi movies. And they don't show titties. But then again, they don't need to because online porn is just so easy to access now. But before, it was very difficult to see titties. Like, you had to go out and you had to buy it. You had to buy a magazine.
You had to go buy titties.
Yeah. God. Yes. Yeah. In one form or another.
Life you lived.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was very. It's very tough. In the before times. To be a pervert. Yeah.
Well, I didn't find that part to be super uncomfortable in this movie. I just
no.
I mean,
were there other things that you were mildly uncomfortable about in this movie?
Well, the girl with the booty that turns into a tentacle, like 2 tentacles. No, it's pretty weird. And she kept trying to fuck her brother. That was pretty weird. But she was like, "It's only her half brother. It's only my half brother, so it's okay. It's okay."
No. She doesn't even say half brother. Like her quote is, "You are my brother. You will be my lover forever." Like the half part doesn't make it okay, and it's the brother part that she's into.
George Lucas would love this movie.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
But the reason I didn't like this movie, well, maybe I should let Sierra talk first because she probably has it better said in her brain.
Well. Before we get into the actual discussion of the movie, Daniel, would you like to do your 2-minute summary?
No, I think you should do it today, Steve.
No, you can do it. It's your shtick.
Oh,
so
okay. All right, fine.
You should do it. You should do it.
All right, fine.
Do you want me to set the timer?
Sierra's got it out.
Okay. Well, then I'll let her do the countdown for it.
Okay.
All right, on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so this like nerdy ass motherfucking tech bro is on a yacht with his friend and his hot girlfriend, and his friend's wife, and they're off the coast of like Spain or something, and they get shipwrecked basically, and he tries to go to shore to get help because his friend's wife is trapped as the water is rising, in the cabin. Anyway, so he goes to the shore, and there's a bunch of fucking weirdos there, and he tries to get their help, and they basically split up, him and his girlfriend, and then they try and attack him and kind of stuff, and then he finds out that like the whole island is like these half fish, half people things, and then he talks to a drunken man who's really old, who has the whole backstory, and basically the island made a deal with this old god to get rid of Jesus and worship him and sacrifice people to him, and so they can live forever and they can become fish people and they can get lots of gold and lots of fish and stuff. And so then they sacrifice the main character's girlfriend, or they're trying to, and he tries to stop it. And then this girl that he's been having dreams about, who was like a mermaid with fangs and stuff, who bites him, she's there. She's the princess of like the island or whatever. And she's like, hey, don't kill him because he's going to be my brother bride. And they're like, oh shit, okay. And so he sets himself on fire to avoid being a brother bride. And then she tackles him into the water. And then they end up swimming into the abyss and being brother brides and sister brides anyways. And his girlfriend died.
That is time.
I went over time, but oh well.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fairly good depiction of it. You're forgetting though. You're wrong in that they want to sacrifice the guy's girlfriend. They don't. They shackle her naked, and then they use a gold. Ushia is her name. The tentacle mermaid.
The priestess. Yeah.
Yeah, the priestess. The sister husband, I guess, as Dan would say. She uses a golden knife to cut the main character's girlfriend, so that when they suspend her over the well, the blood dripping into the water will summon Dagon, so that Dagon can violate her and create either a brother or sister for Ushia and the main character, as it turns out.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And they are partly they are, that kind of happens because the main character is able to pull the chain up to get her out of the water, but then Dagon reaches up and tears her away and leaves her arms in the shackle. But Dagon doesn't need her to have arms for what he intends for her. So
Sia's laughing really hard right now.
That's the proper response. That's a proper response.
So we finished the movie yesterday.
We started it like
last week, and we finished it yesterday. Just because we got busy. And prior to watching the movie, we'd gone to the gym, and I experienced my first ever gym high, where it literally felt like I was like I smoked the fattest bowl of my life for about 2.5 hours. And within those 2.5 hours, we watched the rest of Dagon. And I was just, everything that was happening, I was like, oh, of course that's going to happen. And then, so when Dagon reaches up and grabs Barbara off the hoist thing, I was like, there's no way he didn't like just like rip her completely off of her arms. And then it pans back.
Stuart Gordon knows what he's doing. Stuart Gordon knows continuity. He knows what he's doing. This wasn't his first movie.
That's the thing.
Was it not his first movie?
Like I'll like as much as I can like dislike this movie. Continuity. I was very impressed with it. I was like, you could have just been like, let's bury this under plot armor, yada yada yada. No, like there is like attention paid there, and I do appreciate that for sure.
No, the people who want to watch this movie, they go to see the shackled arms dangling without the body. Like that's like, yeah, he knows his audience. Stuart Gordon knows his audience. Yeah. So just to let you guys know, this movie, for those who don't know, this movie Dagon is an adaptation of HP Lovecraft's The Shadow over Innsmouth. And it was directed by Stuart Gordon in 2001. And this is not his first HPL adaptation. I believe his first one was Reanimator, way back in the 80s, I believe 85. With Jeffrey Combs in it. For those of you who are fans of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, or he was also in Star Trek Enterprise. He also was the voice actor for The Question in Justice League Unlimited. He also played Dr. Mordred. So yeah. So in Reanimator has its own perverted filth in it.
I haven't seen Reanimator.
It is about dead bodies being reanimated to life via a chemical formula. Yeah. There's a joke about giving head in that movie. Stuart Gordon also directed From Beyond, which also has Jeffrey Combs in it. And that involves I believe tits and interdimensional monsters. I have yet to see it. I can't wait to, though. And then he also directed a movie called Castle Freak, which is based on H.P. Lovecraft's The Outsider, but I believe it's if the outsider was a pervert. Stuart Gordon, yes, and Stuart Gordon also famously directed Robot Jocks, which is a movie I saw way back in the day on HBO, which features Robot Jocks, like robot and then JOX. So the premise of that movie is that Earth is in the slow decline, is in slow environmental decline. And so there are no more resources to fight wars in the way that they were fought. So now countries settle things by having giant mechas fight in gladiatorial combat over resources and, international conflicts. And it famously features a giant mecha that reveals that it has a chainsaw dick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Hell
Stuart
yeah.
Gordon for you. That's Stuart Gordon for you.
I'm gonna fire that up when we finish this recording.
Okay. Yeah. there's a great bit in that movie because it's in a environmental apocalypse, and there's a family, and they're like, yeah, we're having real meat today, and they're boiling hot dogs. So
yeah.
Stuart Gordon, not the most subtle of filmmakers, but then again, he doesn't need to be. So,
well, Steven, why did you pick this movie?
I picked this movie because it has similar themes to Womb.
Yeah, I call bullshit because Womb at least had the balls to be incestuous the entire time. This was like buzzer beater incest. It was the last like 8 minutes of the film, and it was like, sure. It
is a twist ending in this movie. It is a twist ending in this movie. But it's also, a horror movie, and we're in October for this episode. So I thought it would be very fitting. I thought that Dan guessed that I would pick Dagon, but he guessed a different movie, Predestination, which might be more fitting, towards Womb.
Yes, I think it is.
You're absolutely right about that, for sure. But this is a horror movie, like it's full on horror, and hearing Usha say, you are my brother and you will be my lover forever. Like, just that line delivery. I mean,
oh yeah.
She says that from the heart. I mean, like, that's great acting right there.
Fucking ridiculous, Steven.
I felt like watching this movie. No. But in watching this movie, literally until like the last 8 minutes of the film, I was like, oh, this is a punishment film because I made him watch Womb. This is he's punishing me for this. And then the incest lore dropped, and I was like, I guess that I guess.
And I specifically said, this is why Steven picked this movie.
Yeah, and then I was just like, this is why? I felt like it literally just felt like that part in what was it? Clockwork Orange, where I'm just having my eyes pried open need to watch.
Well,
under the moonlight.
Well, is that what you think of this movie? Like, it's it's a punishment film?
Let's talk about why we didn't like this movie.
Here's the thing. I'm not a big movie hater. There's always things to enjoy about a film, right? Whether it's like the shittiest film I've ever seen, whatever, is always something to enjoy about it. I'm very, very strict on that when it comes to watching films. Okay. So there were things I enjoyed about this film. But having to watch the most insufferable, annoying pipsqueak ass white man be terrible from beginning to fucking end. The whole film, I was like, this can't be. This is the worst thing that ever happened to me.
His character ruined the movie for me as well. This is the second time I've watched it. I'm sorry, Steve.
Alice, and when we watched it, Alice watched the beginning of it, but she left just as it was getting good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The last half of the film, the last 48 minutes is probably the best bits of the film. In my opinion.
but you need all the setup for that last, half is the thing.
God.
But it's still suffering through it because even the last 48 minutes was still annoying because I had to deal with the main character and he was just so annoying.
Okay, that's fair.
At least to me, he was just really, really frustrating. And to see this town through his eyes were frustrating. If it had been through like Barbara's perspective, or even just like a more tolerable main character, I think it would have been a more enjoyable movie for me. I did enjoy things about this movie. I liked the town. The town is so great. The town is fucking awesome. There's like,
the world building is phenomenal.
Yes, the world building, the set building, the face peeling. Top 10 face peeling moments cinema history.
Yes, I would say. That is my favorite part of the movie.
I had to cover my eyes.
Yeah, Sierra could not watch. I was only able to watch because I had already seen it and I knew it was coming.
Yeah. I remember I was staying over at one of my friend's house, and he had a roommate at the time, and his roommate got the DVD and it was like, hey, I got this movie. Do you guys want to watch it? And we're like, yeah, sure. And so we put it on, and then we watch it, and then that part comes up, and like it's just so intense. There are few movies that I wish that I could watch for the first time over again. Dagon is one of those movies, and it's precisely because of the face peeling scene, because it's so fucking intense, despite being the B movie that it is.
It is viscerally impressive. Like, it is just to see the old man, and that old man is like acting his ass off.
Oh yeah.
And just like they're like peeling back his neck skin, and he's just like, ah. And then to see the main character's reaction too is like, it's a brilliantly done scene. It's disturbing as fuck.
Yeah. And like, I think that's what made me, I already sort of respected the film with how much attention it paid to like the setting and the special effects makeup and the monster building and all that stuff. Like I respected it for that because it's really, really well done. But even though I couldn't watch this scene, I saw glimpses of it and I was like, oh, this is intense work for this movie. And I respected it a lot for that because it really put so much care and love and attention into that.
Yeah,
I feel like without it wouldn't have stood.
Yeah, and it's such great makeup effects work as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite scenes of the movie is whenever he's running away from the townspeople after he just crashed the car that he tried so fucking hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
So he's running away and he ducks into like a house, and the house is like filled with water up to like a foot. And there's this like normal looking boy, and the boy sees him and he's like, help me, Dad, help me.
Ayúdame. Yeah.
He's here. It takes forever. But anyways, like you see in the flooded floor of the house, this like shell swim towards him and then like pop up, and it's like this gigantic man aquatic beast thing with like a crazy face and like tentacles for arms, and like that's fucking sick. Like it was so effective and scary and unsettling. That's probably one of my favorite scenes of the movie. I don't like how he then tries to drown him in the toilet whenever the whole ground is covered with water. You could just drown him in the ground, but right. I get it. It's more gross. So
yeah, but what's great about that scene is Paul, the name of the main character, Paul Marsh. He like grabs the top of the toilet tank, smashes it against the monster's head. The monster falls to the ground, and then the little boy, goes up to him, and he's like, Abo, which I think is like short for grandfather. So he's like, grandfather, why did you hurt my grandfather?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy because the kid looks so normal, but the grandfather is like so monstrous.
Mutated.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
But no, that was probably my favorite scene of the movie.
One thing about that scene is like when he does pick up the back of the toilet and it like breaks over the grandfather's head. Can I just say, them fucking things are heavy. No amount of adrenaline would you would not be able to have that much adrenaline to swing this like 30-pound thing all the way back and not like dislocate your fucking arms.
They're not
while doing
pounds.
so, and then to break it, and it literally sounded like foam. They have all of these. They have all of these sound effects in this film, but he goes to hit this dude over the head with a stick, and it sounds like it just sounds like styrofoam.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a movie, and you know they got to be safe for the stuntmen, and we won't get into all the times. We won't get into all the times Paul breaks obvious sugar glass. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, this movie. There's just so much happening in this movie. And Paul pissed me off so much this entire film. I can't. Like, literally, the second I realized he was going to be the character we're following the whole time, I was like, no fucking way. Because he already is the most, like, unagreeable person I've ever seen in film. And so...
his girlfriend's trying to give him head, and he's just, like, whining about
stocks.
Yeah, stocks.
The fuck? Like, your girlfriend wants to fuck you on a boat. Off an island, and you're like, oh, but what about what about the stocks? We need to talk about the stocks. And you want me to be mad that she throws your fucking computer off the side of the boat? I would have done the same fucking thing. Absolutely not. My God.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, like, so he's on the island. He's trying to find Barbara. It's a whole. He's like, you know, being attacked by these monsters. He meets Ezekiel. And Ezekiel's literally telling him why everything is the way it is on this island. And he gets like 10, 15 minutes of just fucking exposition. Just like, hey, to catch you up, bro, here's what you missed on Glee, you know? And then he finishes, and then Paul's like, there are two possibilities.
Yeah.
One, you're a drunk and you're crazy. Like, what the fuck? What is...
Well, Ezekiel does say, I am loco, I am a drunk, but I tell you the truth. So, like, he does have that self-awareness.
My thing is, bro, is that if I'm a stranger in a place and I'm a stranger and there are half aquatic beings all around me and my girlfriend's missing and my two rich friends are missing as well, and there's just one guy who doesn't have a fucking tentacle that I can see, and he's telling me a backstory from when he was a child about everything that happened in this town, why everything's happening in this town. Hate to say it, I'd fucking believe him. I'd be like, yeah, buddy, you've been here your whole life. I'm sure. You're somewhere between 70 and 1,000. I absolutely got it. Also,
he's not trying to get anything from you. He's literally just helping you find a place to hide and telling you this.
He's literally not asking you for booze. He's not asking you for a handy. He's not asking you for any money. He's asking for nothing. He literally just says, "Hey, dude, I know you look a little confused. I'm gonna catch you up to speed. All right." And then you're just like,
"Yeah,
I don't get it.
What if I knife you if you're telling me a lie?"
Right? Like, what the fuck? Oh God.
The other thing that's like fucking crazy is that he thinks that Barbara is dead, and then like an hour later he stumbles into the room of the mermaid girl who he had a dream about, and he starts making out with her.
Dude.
It's like
no. No, but there are reasons for that, because what you're forgetting. Hold on. Hold on. You guys are saying like this movie is just bad for these reasons, but there are reasons that if you understand why they made the creative choices that they did, it makes sense. Because his girlfriend is missing, and then he sees the woman in the bed. But Daniel, what you're leaving out is that the movie starts with him in a dream that he's scuba diving in the ocean. And then he sees, oh, but he sees Usha in his dream, and then that's what makes him make out with her.
Yeah, but
she is literally the woman of his dreams, Daniel.
In the dream, though, doesn't she try and bite his face off?
Yes, but she's still fucking hot.
The rituals are intricate. You wouldn't understand. Okay?
Just because she is the woman of his dreams, no relationship is perfect. Especially between siblings. So,
oh dear.
Dude,
yeah.
Because he just seemed so insufferable from the very beginning, I was just like, I know he's not going to make it out of here. They wouldn't do that. Movies don't do that. Movies don't let the bastard make it out.
Yeah.
And thankfully, thankfully, I was right.
He did not. Yeah, he did not get out.
Another part that annoyed me to no end about this man, although it was an effectively, strangely effective scene. He's in a hotel, which I don't know why he would check into a hotel here. Anyways, he's in a hotel, and it's like the grossest, nastiest hotel. And then a bunch of villagers start coming in towards the hotel, and he like gets their attention somehow. Anyways, there's no lock on the door, and they're coming up. And so he decides to take this flimsy ass, tiny deadbolt from the interior door, like the bathroom door, and unscrew it, and then screw it back in onto the outside door so that he can stop the oncoming horde of townspeople from getting into the room. And he has like a total of 2 screws in this flimsy tiny deadbolt in this old ass door, and he's like, yeah, this will hold, guys. Yeah.
Okay.
I just did that shit.
Dude, with how long that, and I know they made that scene so long for like, the intensity, the suspense. Is he gonna be able to fucking screw this back in with the Swiss Army knife? But my God,
okay. So here's the thing. That scene is directly from the short story it's based off of.
I knew you were going to say that. You guys didn't read the book. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. Now, it's a little different because, the hordes aren't coming at that point. But what happens is the main character in the short story, he notices that there's no lock on his door. So he has, a Swiss Army knife, basically. And he uses it to unscrew the latch from one door and then screw it on the front door. And so in the middle of the night, he can hear someone trying to open his door, but the only thing that keeps them out is the lock. So I believe that is what happens in the short story.
Well, that makes logical sense.
That's not what we got.
But that is not what happened in the film.
Yes. But, he's doing a homage to the original short story. And that's also what Ezekiel's flashback, that happens in the story as well, but it's a little different. So what happens in the short story is it's set in the 1920s because that's when it was originally written. Mm-hmm. And Paul Marsh, I don't think he has I can't remember if he has a name or not in the short story. But anyway, the main character, he is into like local history and stuff. And so he decides to take a trip to Innsmouth, a day trip to Innsmouth to like see the sights and see what it's all about. And so he goes to the library, which has like a local history section, which talks about the town's history. And then, but he wants to know more, and so he comes across Zadok Allen, who is the old man and the drunk. And even though it's prohibition, he provides him with liquor, and then that's when we find out about the captain who brings wealth and prosperity to the city as long as they reject the Christian God and then start worshiping Dagon.
Mm-hmm.
So that flashback was from the story as well. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. So Sierra, why don't you go on about what you did like about this movie?
Weirdly, there's a lot that I liked about this movie. Not as much as things I disliked, but more than anticipated. I liked that even though Paul is like one of the most annoying characters that I've seen in film, I loved that they didn't like give him, like in some movies where you're following this person trying to get out of a sticky situation and they all of a sudden have all of these skills where they're just like, oh yeah, I could totally I know Taekwondo and I can do this and do that, whatever. I love that they kind of just made him impulsive. They didn't give him any skills. He kind of working off of impulse and like just the will to live, I guess. I enjoyed that because I swear if he pulled out any weird kung fu moves, I would have fucking lost my mind. So I like that.
This movie is a bit like the original Die Hard in that way. Maybe like John McClane was trapped in that building, Paul Marsh, he's trapped in the city trying to get out.
Right, exactly.
And it's funny because there are times when he tries to fight back and all he has is that little Swiss Army knife. But then he sees Ezekiel get his face peeled.
Yeah.
And then they release him on Usha's orders, and that's when he becomes deadly.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. God, this film is just so fucking... It's weird. It's funny because whenever I'm watching a movie that I know I don't enjoy, once it's over, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't that bad. And that might just be me because I am those people that's just like, I'll watch a bad movie because it's enjoyable. This movie wasn't the most enjoyable movie I've seen, but because I enjoyed a little bit of it, I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I think it's a movie that can definitely grow on you, because that's kind of how I felt about it. Like when I first watched it, with my friends, like we were riffing on it and making fun of it. But then I learned more about HP Lovecraft. I learned more about the story, The Shadow over Innsmouth, and I got more into it, and so I revisited this movie, and I'm like, oh, I see what they're trying to do here, because this movie is very faithful. It's surprisingly just how faithful to the story it really is. Now it does take a lot of liberties, especially in that last act. But something that I've kind of noticed about filmmakers who adapt HP Lovecraft stories is so there is a movie version of a Lovecraft story called The Whisperer in Darkness. And that was the second movie made by the HP Lovecraft Historical Society. And I heard, I can't remember if it was in a making of featurette or if I heard it on a podcast, but he mentioned Lovecraft stories only have a first and second act. They don't really have a third act, so we had to invent our third act for Whisperer in Darkness. And so Stuart Gordon, he did the same thing for this, and he also modernized it too. But yeah, the first act is, he gets to the village. he explores it. The second act is he discovers the town's horrible secret, and then in the third act he invents. That's where the weird incest stuff comes out, along with sexual assault, which is mentioned by Vicky. And that part is also an intense scene, but for very different reasons.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Poor Vicky, man. Like, she was just chilling. She was sunbathing like 12 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now she ain't got no fucking leg. She ain't got no man. She ain't got nowhere to live. And she got Dagon's baby in her.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor woman. I felt terrible. Because one, I fucking forgot about her. Completely forgot about her.
Yeah.
Because I just assumed she was dead. And then I was like, well, they're only really killing the men. It would make more sense for them to keep the women to have more Dagon's babies. And then, that's what it was.
But isn't it kind of cool that this movie, like, it confirms every thought that you have so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this movie makes sense in a way.
It does in such unfortunate ways. And and again, I might have to respect it for that.
Okay.
But yeah, like seeing her again, it was just, oh gosh, I felt awful. Like, it made my stomach hurt to see her again, because I was like, oh, she's been through it. And like, I feel like even without, because she wasn't able to explain it much because of how traumatic all of this has been.
Yes.
But in just the little bit that she was able to explain, like, everything was understood.
Well, Ezekiel explains what happens in a very crass way. Succinct.
Yeah.
Succinct.
He got straight to the point.
Here's the direct quote. He have her. He take her. He fuck her. Trying to explain to Paul exactly what happened to poor Vicky.
Just so that nobody gets confused. He was He's like, simple and sweet.
Yeah, it's straight to the point.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
And like, the scene where the people are coming to take Barbara and to grab Ezekiel and Paul and everything to separate them again. One, the punches are just so funny. I love the sound effects so much. I'm so happy. Like, not even being like an asshole about it. I love when I hear a good like pat. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, the sting.
It was so good. But anyway, so before they're even like pulled out of it, they're like, Vicky's screaming. She's like, oh god, they're coming back, yada yada yada. And then was like, hush, don't scream, yada yada. It's like, they already know where the fuck you are. They put you there. They literally put you there. Let my girl go out screaming if she wants to. She's been through a lot. It's the least you can fucking do. And I forget, because it was in the scuffle. Oh, because Ezekiel had the knife, right? No, Paul had the knife, and then Ezekiel had the knife, and then Vicky was able to grab it, and she just guts herself.
Yeah.
And
seppuku.
I support it. Yeah, Barbara's next in line. Who gives a fuck? I'm sorry. Vicky needed an out.
But Barbara's not so bad. Like, she's a feisty Spanish woman. So, I don't mind. I don't mind Barbara at all. So, Usha is too, in her own,
in her own special way.
Crazy way. Yeah, but that's what makes the sex so hot.
Because you're
That's
related.
what makes the sex so hot. No, well, she's also crazy. But when you have those two together, like,
I mean, magic is made.
yeah. So there's actually kind of a theme that I kind of want to talk about, like that's also in the short story and is also in this movie. Because it kind of brings up a good point. Yeah. So, we're supposed to worship the Christian God and pray to the Christian God. And, follow the laws of the Christian God. But, the Christian God doesn't always answer our prayers. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what happens in this story, because the village, like, it's poor and it's a fishing village, but but all the fish are dead. And so it's like really struggling. And then in the movie, his name is Captain Kambaro. He shows up and he says, the Christian God is not answering your prayers. I know of a God who will. His name is Dagon. And then he summons the fortunes through Dagon, which provide, fish for the village to eat and artifacts of gold to make them wealthy. Mm-hmm. And but the thing is like, oh, Dagon is supposedly evil, but he's taking care of you, mm-hmm. which the Christian God isn't doing. The Christian God is an absent God. Mm-hmm. So, is Dagon really that bad of a guy? I mean, sexual assault notwithstanding.
I was going to say, because it's kind of hard. Because like, yeah, he's a God that is providing, there's instant gratification. You give to Dagon, Dagon gives to you. But he also is like the only thing that is keeping these people alive. And they worship him out of fear of not receiving anything. So he just keeps them on their toes constantly.
Okay.
And I mean, there's generations of people on this island that are just fucked up. Because they're like half sea creature, and they have to wait for so long for another somebody to pass by this island, and in order for another sacrifice, so that Dagon can provide for them. And it's yes, he's a God that gives, but he's definitely a God that taketh. And keepeth.
I don't think that he takes things away, like when he doesn't get a sacrifice. Like, from my understanding, he needs the women to, breed with. And it's mostly the men that they sacrifice, who they skin so they can wear people jackets and people masks and pretend to be human.
Good God.
Oh yeah, why is it that they do that again? Is there any reason for that, or are they just having a good time?
Have a good time to think that they look normal. And unfortunately, just that's what happens to Howard, Vicky's husband or boyfriend. And remember, when Paul is about to be tortured, he tells the priest, "Hey, I can give you $1 million." And the priest is like, "We don't need your millions. We have 10 times that much wealth in gold." Mm-hmm. So it's like they have so much gold that gold doesn't matter to them. Of course, like, the place is like still run down and very shitty and absolutely disgusting. But hey, fish swim in their own pee, so how clean of a town does it really need to be when you are half fish? So
I'm going to mention another thing, kind of like off topic, but one thing that I really enjoyed about the film was weirdly, like, the atmosphere, like, it's just wet the whole time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I loved that, because, like, yeah, these are like half sea creatures, so I'm sure there has to be some sort of like moisture somewhere, and so I feel like if it were like a little bit of water here, a little rain there, it would be a little odd. you know, but I love that they were just like, no, it's got to be disgustingly just damp. It's got to be wet and soggy constantly. Like every step has to have a squish. Every time you touch something, you have to feel like you're infected by something. Like,
you're gonna get some ooze on you.
Yeah, you dude, you gotta get nasty. And I loved how nasty this film was. Like
and
the
Paul
atmosphere
has
was
to
fantastic.
wipe off his glasses 5 times a minute.
Yeah. Oh man. I loved that he had to keep fucking with his glasses. I loved that. It was just the how I guess natural everything felt in that aspect is just so great to me. I love attention to detail. I fucking it butters my bread. It is fantastic.
Well, you want to talk about attention to detail. If you notice, Paul at the beginning of the movie has his shirt off. And by his ribs, you can see like purple slashes, like slashes of purple, like where it looks like his skin is bruised. But at the end of the movie, you find out that no, those aren't bruises; those are his gills.
Yeah.
And he has those on his ribs, like whenever he has his shirt off. So yeah, that part is definitely set up and alluded to right from the beginning of the movie. So
yeah, because like he wakes up from his little dream with his priestess or whatever, and he's like holding his side, and he's like, God, the doctor says it's not ulcers, but I don't know what's going on. But it's his little gills.
Yeah. And I think the reason why he needs glasses is because his eyes are adapting to see in the water. So yeah.
Also, another thing I noticed is when he was trying to escape the mansion, I think he headbutts one of the guards. Yes. He headbutts the fuck out of that
the
guard.
chauffeur.
And then
the chauffeur.
The chauffeur. And then there's just a bruise in the center of his forehead. God, I loved that. I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Cool.
You blink and you miss it, but I noticed it and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Can I say a few things that I wrote down?
Absolutely.
Okay. A few highlights. Whenever he beats a dude over the head with a Nokia.
Yes.
He's desperately trying to get his cell phone out of his pocket, and I was like, what is he gonna fucking do with his cell phone? Just uses it to ram it into a guy's face.
Dude, I don't know. Because Steve, I'm sure you've had the Nokia brick. My sisters had one. I remember which one it was, but I remember one of them threw it at my head when I was a child. I don't know what I did. I pissed them off, and they were just throwing things at me, and they threw their phone at me, and I thought I was a goner.
Yeah, there's a meme about Nokia phones and just how fucking tough they are.
They are fucking
in this movie,
solid as a rock.
Yeah, they're used as a lethal weapon.
Yeah, and then he was like, I gotta get a new phone. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah, absolutely not.
You
yeah,
do not.
Yeah, you put that phone in a fucking
fine.
holster where it belongs.
Dude, exactly. That's a certified fucking weapon.
Yeah.
After he runs away and gets eventually captured, they throw a net over him, and it's like the corniest, weirdest slow-mo shot.
His
It's extremely unnecessary, and it made Sierra laugh, and it's making her laugh.
Okay.
This is so funny because it's just like it's like a slow echo of his He gets caught by the net. It's so good. It looked like a Buffy episode. It was so funny.
And then
that's fair.
Whenever the priest is monologuing while Paul is tied up, Paul's like, "Fuck Dagon." The priest is like, "Yes." And their child will be immortal.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
I love how this movie leans into that shit in the way that it does. It's so great. Like, I think it's great.
It's so good. It's so fitting.
Yeah, it's entertaining for sure.
Yes. And then my other takeaway from this movie is that Scooby-Doo took a lot from HP Lovecraft, apparently, because this is like the exact same plot as like the first live action James Gunn Scooby-Doo movie.
Okay.
Like, except for the body swapping. Kind of.
You know what? Loosely. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You're picking up. There's like a big old vat where they have to sacrifice things
Souls.
into.
Yeah.
And the whole island is kind of in on it.
The whole island is dependent on this soul cauldron.
Yeah.
You know what, Daniel?
Yeah.
You're on to something, buddy.
I'm on to something.
I'm seeing your vision.
I thought you would have picked that up earlier than me, but it's okay.
No. It was funny because like after the movie, like some of the suggestion movies was like the Scooby-Doo movies. After Dagon ended, I was like, interesting.
Is a Scooby-Doo movie going to be your Halloween pick, Daniel?
Have you seen it, Steven?
It doesn't matter if I've seen it. it can be a pick.
Well, have you seen all of them? Have you seen 1 and 2?
Me? I don't. Are you talking about the live action Scooby-Doo movie?
Yes.
Yeah. With Matthew.
I saw it in the theater, but it has completely. I've completely forgotten about it, except for Scrappy Doo.
So we gotta watch it. Is what that means.
That might be honestly a good pick. Let me think about it, but that might be a good pick.
Okay. But one thing I want to mention, like you mentioned, like how this, like Scooby-Doo seemed inspired by this movie. Shadow over Innsmouth is one of Lovecraft's most influential stories. So, like there's a lot of direct adaptations of it out there, and it has also inspired, like maybe not direct adaptations. But things that are like spiritual, that invoke the same themes or horrors from this movie, from this story. So it is. It might even be like one of the most popular stories, like even more than Call of Cthulhu, the story. Like I think the Call of Cthulhu story is like just his best, well-written story. But Shadow over Innsmouth is very, very popular. So, because it's like, you go into this town and it doesn't like outsiders, and you're an outsider, and then you slowly you're here, you can't leave. You find that you can't leave. Then you discover the dark history behind the townsfolk and the town itself. And then you get caught up in it, and not only do you get caught up in it, you discover to your horror that you are actually a part of it. Which is
like Hot Fuzz,
which is
too.
Okay. You're not wrong. I have seen Hot Fuzz. Yes. Yeah.
But no, you're very right. This movie, that concept has been used so many times, and I guess it makes sense that it comes from this.
And like one thing that I have to say is, you know how at the end of the movie, Paul like pours, I guess kerosene or oil over himself and sets himself on fire. Well. I don't have proof of it, but I think that is an allusion to an earlier story by Lovecraft called Facts Concerning the Late Arthur German and His Family.
Interesting.
And if you read that story, like that's an earlier story, but it has a lot of similar themes to the Shadow over Innsmouth, especially in your dark, horrible ancestry, because what the way that the Arthur German short story starts is it's about this guy, and like he's like a noble in England, I think. And one day he just walks out to the moors, pours oil over, and like, so he's like a Byronic figure where like he's tall and strong, but he has a soul of a poet, of an artist, and he's very smart, but he looks very, very hideous. And then they talk about how one night he walks to the moor, pours oil on himself, and sets himself on fire. And the people that lived around him, they speculate about why they did that, and that it was because he learned about his genealogy. And so the story then goes into his genealogy. And long story short, you find out that one of his like great grandfathers was an explorer who went to Africa, and he married a gorilla queen.
Oh.
What was his cat's name again?
What's that?
Yeah, that sounds very.
Oh yeah. The cat. Yeah. And there's a funny part in the story. It's actually funny, where like one of the descendants of the gorilla queen, like, he gets a job at like a circus, boxing gorillas, and like he has a great rapport with them.
Oh my god.
Dear God.
So yeah,
Fucking
that one.
Like, okay, if that story was just like written by a different person, it'd be like, okay, that's just like a weird kind of creepy story.
Yeah.
But because it's him, it sounds so racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, that's kind of the thing about at least how I see Lovecraft, because like there is absolutely racist, like full on racist undertones, if not overtones, to his story. But I still think like those themes are kind of relevant because of mental illness. Because mental illness absolutely has like a it's passed down, so there's absolutely a genetic component to it. And Lovecraft's father, like I think he died in like an insane asylum,
Wow.
but it might have been because of syphilis, but which is different.
I mean, it's happened to the best. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. But nevertheless, if you think of it in terms of mental illness and how that's passed down, like it's a very similar feeling of horror when it comes to your ancestry and so forth. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting comparison. I don't know if I agree completely, but I see where you're going with it.
I unrelated. But it was when you told us the title of the story you were just talking about, and
facts concerning the late Arthur German and his family.
Correct. And my first thought was, God, Lovecraft would have loved pop punk.
Would have loved what?
Pop punk, like the pop punk scene. He would have fucking loved it. The long ass titles. Oh my God. Every time
yeah.
it. Dude, I want to go back in time and bring what album is it? A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco, and then just have him read the title.
Okay.
What is it?
But I love long titles like that. Like I love that shit. I love that stuff.
I love a good long title, and obviously so does my dog HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Daniel, you were in the bathroom for this, but I realized that I don't actually hate this movie as much as I thought. And it might just be Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. But the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm just like, these bits, though annoying, were very enjoyable. So I think if I were to rate this movie, I'd give it like a 2.5, but like a high 2.5. You know what I mean?
Out of what? Like a 2 because
out of like 10, but that's okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Out of 10. Okay. There are parts of this movie that I enjoyed, but overall I did not enjoy the viewing experience of watching this movie, which is usually how I rate things, like how I connected to it, like my love of it or my learning from it or something.
Like your initial watch?
Yeah, like the way it makes me feel matters deeply, and that's basically what I rate movies with. In this movie, I was not super moved by, other than the face peeling scene, which again, so it's not a bad movie. It's just not a movie I enjoy watching that much. It's more enjoyable to watch parts of it and enjoy parts of it, and it's fun to talk about. Kind of like on the Silver Globe, like. I would not watch that movie again for the enjoyment of watching it, but there are parts of it that are crazy and parts of it that are fun to talk about.
You had fun talking about on the Silver Globe.
Yeah,
I mean, I never want to watch that movie again. And I don't know if being able to talk about it is worth the 3 hours of just mind-numbing dialogue that was constantly thrown at me the way that it was. I mean, I get what you're saying.
That's fair.
I get what you're saying. But, man, God damn it.
Well, that's how annoying Paul was in this movie.
Okay, that's fair. Dagon is your Silver Globe on the Silver Globe.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I would watch this movie again.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I think just to really figure out how I feel about it. Because my initial reaction was, God. But I feel like if I were to sit all the way through it, and not wait a week to finish it, I think I would feel a different way. So I might watch it again.
Okay.
This was a good pick, dude.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, if I were to rate it, well, it depends on the person who asks me about it. Because if they only watch mainstream movies, I would give this movie a 4 out of 10. Because it is technically well made. Like there's great lighting, we talked about the set design, the makeup effects, they don't do that anymore. That is now a lost art in cinema, which is a damn shame. The acting is great. The guy who played Ezekiel, here, let me see his name, Francisco Rabal, like he was a big time actor in Spain. And he passed away the same year that this movie was made, unfortunately. It's got great acting. Raquel Moronio as Ushia, like she is fucking awesome in it.
Oh, she's so good in it. She's amazing.
Yeah, she really sells it.
Like the body control that she has is phenomenal. Absolutely.
Makeup effects, a costume is all great. Yeah, so on every technical level, like it's great. But it's just like the content, would not be good for mainstream audiences. Now, if you're a horror fan, I would rate this 6 out of 10. Because it does invoke mood. It does invoke horror. And so it's good for that. And if you're an HPL fan, well, I'd rate this a 7.5. Because it is like so true to the story, except for the incest stuff. So that would be my rating. And, like I mentioned before, Sierra, like, I do think it's the kind of movie that has to grow on you. So, maybe watch it once, see how you feel, give it a second watch, and then, maybe judge by that second watch, if it's grown on you or not.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier, because the first half of the film wasn't like gory, it was suspenseful,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was like, it could be like high octane, like here and there for like a few minutes, but then it was kind of just like exploring and trying to make it out. But then the second half is just like balls to the wall, like
yeah,
it's like last ditch effort to escape. And so that's when you get like most of the gore, most of the I guess the fear, like the incredible fear of like not knowing whether or not you're gonna make it out or not. That's where it's more like I guess erratic almost. Like the beginning is like it's erratic in a way. It's like everything's unknown, so you're just trying to find an answer. Now he already has his answer, and he's like, oh, okay, now I really got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
and then
but
now
he
there's more at
can't.
stake. Yeah, and he can't. But now there's more at stake because he knows that his girlfriend is alive, and so he's trying to find a way to get out of there. And then this priestess lady that's been in his dreams is there. Like all this other stuff is happening, but he's still sort of like set on like what's the next move. But he kind of just like he's kind of just bouncing in place, trying to figure out what the next move is. And I loved that energy of the last half of the film. I thought it was amazing. It really just like it picked it up immediately. And then with the gore, I'm really bad at body gore. Can't handle it. Even when Vicky was like gutting herself, you barely see it, but just like knowing what's happening,
yeah, but there's not much of it. Like there's not much of it in the movie. So, but when they when they do that, it's even more impactful. So it's not like a torture porn movie,
right.
or a gore porn horror movie. No. When they do it, like it fucking hits, like it's like a surgical fucking strike, and it's because like,
that's
what makes the movie
fears
great.
Are being realized like right in front of them. And it's just God, it's done so well. The last half was really was good. I really enjoyed that.
I will say credit to the first half. I did enjoy the shipwreck scene. I think that's pretty scary and intense. Yeah, I think that was good too. And,
remember the fish hook in Paul's hand?
Oh, yeah.
that I didn't. I thought that was just corny looking. I don't know.
Oh, man. Okay. This movie, it's so weird. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, I could watch it again.
Yeah.
I
can tell. She's warming up.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like, if you talk about it with somebody who likes it, they'll point out, what's great about it. So,
yeah, because it really was the beginning of the movie. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, I remember we paused it at some point to go do something, and I was like, what the fuck is Steven's problem? Why would he do this to me? I was so mad.
Oh, okay.
But then we finished it, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm tripping.
Well, and if you're interested, you could also read the short story that it's based off of.
I just might.
Yeah, it's free. All of HP's stories are free online. So, and you might also
they're public domain. Hell yeah.
They're public domain. Well, that's why Stuart Gordon was able to adapt it and all the other Lovecraft stuff. Yeah. And also might be able to find like really cool readings of it as well. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. Before we go, we'd like to give a shout out to the bestest friends of the show on our Patreon. Thank you, Brian, for your support of the show. If you'd like to be one of our bestest friends of the show, then check out our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/yourmoviemymoviepodcast. And thanks for listening. Daniel, any last thoughts or anything else you want to talk about?
Not too much. I didn't write that many notes down, but I guess my last note was that the music was good for the end credits.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like throughout the movie, like you can hear singing. And what's that supposed to represent is the singing of the deep ones calling to people still on the surface. That's talked about in the story, but that singing is what it alludes to from the story.
That's pretty cool.
More detail. Yeah.
Another thing I liked was that they just swim into a deep dark hole under the ocean, and that was pretty fucking sick and scary and weird. And mysterious.
A mysterious wet dark void.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me of that Duke of Burgundy scene with the CGI butterflies coming from. Yeah.
Vaguely remember that.
Okay. Oh, I can't forget that shot.
Is it coming out of her eyes and mouth?
No. It's coming from between her thighs. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes. You should watch that movie again.
Other than that, okay, I can't really think of too much about the film.
One thing that I didn't get, granted, yes, Paul is looking for his girlfriend, right? But when he gets with the priestess and everything, and he's like, they're macking. He's touching titty like no one's ever touched titty. And then he feels her gills, and then he pulls the blanket down, and he sees like both tentacles. I'm like, you're telling me you still would not smash that? You're telling me, you're looking me in the eyes with your thick fucking rimmed glasses, and you're telling me you're not going to still fuck.
Sarah, it's legitimately, it's something you got to think about. Like, yeah, at least have to spend time considering it. Like,
you know, I watched The Lighthouse and I didn't scrutinize homie for fucking the mermaid. You know what I mean? Like,
I have not seen The Lighthouse, so.
Oh, you
I haven't seen that movie yet. No.
Oh, maybe we should watch that instead of Scooby Doo. I don't know.
Yo, The Lighthouse is it's one of my favorite movies. I've watched it 10 times.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was just so confused. I was like, you didn't even like you could recoil and then be like, however, you know, you could like, you change your mind at any moment. But he straight up just said, ew, no. What? And this is me. I'm not a monster fucker, okay? I want that to be so clear on the record. I'm not a monster fucker. I would have.
Okay.
That's crazy to me that he didn't.
One thing I disagree with about this film, okay, if it is kerosene that he pours on himself, kerosene is actually very hard to light. It is not easy to light.
Well, it doesn't say like what it is. It's just in cans that say inflammable. But then that brings up the thing where flammable and inflammable mean the same thing. So it doesn't directly say like what it is, just that it causes fire. So,
well, I just had to put it on the record that kerosene and diesel fuel are both not easy to start.
Okay.
So let it be known. Okay.
Sure.
That's it.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you got it. Safety first, man.
Steve, do you have any final thoughts about this film?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the one thing that I haven't talked about is like, so the movie begins and ends with underwater shots. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, that's how you know there's some money put in this movie. Because it has an underwater camera and, you know, someone who can run an underwater camera and like all the gear necessary for the actors and everyone else to be underwater for some amount of time. So this movie does have money behind it. Another thing is that So this is actually a Spanish movie. It was made by Spanish studios because they were the only ones who were able to provide the money to make an adaptation of Shadows over Innsmouth. Because Stuart Gordon, he wanted to make a movie based on it for a long time, but nobody would ever provide, the funding for it until, these Spanish studios did. So there's that. And so the village they go to is called Imboca, which is Spanish for in mouth, Innsmouth. And Cambaro is Spanish for marsh, which is, Paul's last name, Paul Marsh. So that's neat. That's neat.
That's really good.
That is good.
Yeah. It's nice that they did, those direct translations. So, and yeah.
Did we mention that his sweatshirt had a
Miskatonic. Yeah. That is a very neat Easter egg as well. Because Stuart Gordon, he's obviously a big Lovecraft fan. I believe he was on. So there's a podcast called the HP Lovecraft Literary Podcast, and it started at least in the 2010s. I don't know if it started in the 2000s or not, but definitely it continued on to the 2010s and even to this day. But what they did is they went through all of Lovecraft's stories, and then, analyze them, discuss them, and so forth. And so I think you can listen to Stuart Gordon when they talk about Lovecraft stories, Herbert West Reanimator. Sadly, Stuart Gordon is no longer with us.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he will be missed, but not his movies. So... Yeah. So, and also, I want to say again, Francisco Rabal, he was like a big time Spanish actor. So I feel like Dagon in a way is kind of like Star Wars, with Francisco Rabal is like the Sir Alec Guinness of Dagon. But I think that's always great, when you have these older actors that Hollywood, won't get anymore, and then they have to do. It's sad. On one hand, it's sad, but on the other hand, it's also kind of great because they're still working, and fans of them can still see them. So,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So are we done with Dagon?
We are done.
We're done.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.